Hey, thanks for joining the channel. In today's episode, we are at the State Forest Nursery with Pat Griffin. Stay with us. We're going to go from nuts to trees.
Hi, this is Tim and Joel. Welcome to Midwest Hunting and Outdoors by Two Dumbasses,
a podcast about the outdoors, hunting,
and being a steward of the land.
Hey, welcome to Midwest Hunting and Outdoors by Two Dumbasses. Today we are at the State of Iowa Nursery for forestry, for plants. So, Tim, I'll turn it over to you, but we got a special guest here.
Yeah, so we have Pat Griffin, nursery manager here. And Pat, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself and how you came to here?
All right. Well, I'm originally from Fort Dodge, Iowa. I went to school here at Iowa State in Ames. Majored in horticulture with an emphasis in nursery production. So I was kind of looking into growing nursery plants. I really took a strong interest in landscape plants, trees, and shrubs. And I spent a number of years as a self-employed landscape contractor after college. But some different life events led me back to Ames at the State Nursery. So here I am.
That's awesome. So just as a heads up, we just completed a tour of the facility, so we'll sprinkle some of that into the episode. But what I'd like to talk about is so what is the State Nursery and what's it all about?
The State Forest Nursery was originally established in 1933 as part of the FDR's New Deal plan that was creating jobs for people in the area, and one of the things they did was started the State Nursery. So the nursery was started in 1933. It's been continuously operated ever since, and now it's a division of the Department of Natural Resources.
That's awesome. How many trees do you guys sell a year?
We sell around 1 million trees a year. We're producing a wide variety of native Iowa trees and shrubs, from hardwoods, conifers, and different shrubs. Yeah.
I think we saw it all on the tour.
Yeah.
We'll include some of those pictures, of course, but pretty impressive.
I mean, not all states have a tree nursery. Is that true?
Yeah, that is true. There is, I think, 32 states that have a state nursery. So most around Iowa do, but not all of them. Yeah. Yeah,
it's really, I think, a treasure for Iowans that we can get trees from the state nursery. I mean, I think they're $1 a tree roughly?
Yeah, roughly. Our trees range from 80 cents to $1.20. So yeah, very affordable. And the mission of our nursery is to grow native plant material from locally sourced seeds. So we're collecting seed from all over the state. It's brought here to Ames, and we grow everything out in the field, but we're field growing native seed to produce native seedlings. Seed freezer. We try to keep a multi-year supply of all our shrub and conifer seed on hand. Some of our hardwood seed as well. A lot of our conifer and shrubs seeds, they get stored long term. We have seed in here as old as the 1950s that we're still growing today. One of our pine species, the seed was harvested in 1956, and it is we still get 80% germination out of that seed lot. So
I think it's awesome. So primary customers for the nursery?
I'd say mainly private landowners. Vast majority of our material, probably 80 to 90%, goes to private landowners for different conservation-related plantings, whether it's reforestation, CRP plantings, windbreaks, things of that nature. We do sell to a lot of different counties throughout the state that have county conservation departments. They're doing kind of the same thing, still ended up on public lands, but municipalities will buy trees from us, and some different private industry will as well. Different tree farms, Christmas tree farms, other nurseries will buy our stock, which is really a win-win because we're putting more native plant material into the landscape, and that's really what we want to do here.
And maybe now is the time, Pat, just asking the question, and we'll put the website here, but people who are interested in purchasing trees or getting on the list to purchase trees, go to the website?
Yep, so the Iowa DNR State Forest Nursery website, it's nursery.iowadnr.gov. We'll take you directly to our online store.
And like I said, we'll put that right here, and one-stop shop, right? It has it pretty much everything, what's in inventory, minimum orders, all that fun stuff.
Correct, yep. Our season does start the first week of September. Typically open around September 1st, but depending on Labor Day, it might be a different day. But it's the first week of September, and then our season runs September through May.
So you talked a little bit about your mission. Tell us overall, what's the mission for the State Forest Nursery?
It's producing native plant material at an affordable price. Really, native plant material from locally sourced seed will grow healthier, better forests than bringing in outside plant material that may not be adapted to our climate, our region, be susceptible to our pests, where native plant material are adapted to this area. So it's creating a healthier forest.
So from a operations perspective, would you say you're self-funded, funded by the Iowa DNR, or somewhere in between?
Kind of somewhere in between. Our goal is to remain self-funded, to produce and sell enough stock that we can be self-sufficient here. We do have some general fund support when needed, but our goal is to remain, be self-sufficient.
Okay. And so as you took us through a tour of the facility, like as Joel said, very impressive. How do you guys go about choosing species?
So we're looking for native plant material and determining what species to sell. Some of our conifers aren't native to Iowa, but that's simply because there's only a couple of conifers that truly are, but there's conifers are important to our environment, and we grow certain ones that are well adapted to this area, and we know will do well. But it's more what's providing the wildlife benefits, what's adapted or native to this region, and plant material we can sell. What do people want to grow, and so we stay away from any type of cultivars, any specific varieties. I mean, we're just growing native plants.
So what's your number one seller?
Black walnut is up there as our number one seller. Some of our oak species as well. Our bur oak, red oak, white oak are very popular. Conifers, we sell a lot of red cedar, a lot of white pine. Norway spruce would be our top conifer species.
Okay. Do you guys ever do like any specialty or like one-off species? Do you say, hey, we're going to slide those in for a few years and then take them back out?
We have tried different things for that to see how well we could produce them, how many people are interested in them. But we don't vary much in our species we grow. We do certain, we'll grow something special for one of our state forests, or we've done some partnerships with the USDA Seed Lab where they've provided us with the seed lot that we grow. And but anything like that, we're growing it for state lands. We're trying something out that's going to be planted on a state property somewhere.
I was going to say, Pat, I know based on the tour here that the squirrels are really happy that black walnuts are your number one seller, because they were out there by the walnuts and eating those. They look pretty healthy and fat.
Yeah, we feed our squirrel population very well.
No doubt.
It is one of our battles here. Is depredation, is the squirrels and rabbits and deer that move in here to the nursery, and we keep them well fed. But that is one of our
just
challenges.
A byproduct of it. Yeah.
So now you guys, primary customers, people like us, farmers, et cetera, and working from a CRP perspective, how do you guys interact or support other outside agencies or groups such as like Department of Transportation, USDA, or maybe even like a Pheasants Forever?
With the Department of Transportation, they do utilize some of our stock for some of their roadside plantings for when they plant living snow fences and areas like that. They will purchase stock through us, which is, from my perspective, a win-win. That it's a cheap avenue for the DOT. It's getting more state-grown plant material onto state land, so that's a win-win. We've partnered with or done projects with the Pheasants Forever in the past, or the Turkey Federation, where they've will purchase wildlife packs from us or trees for wildlife plantings and distributed them at their events. So yeah.
Interesting. Joel, you got anything you?
I'm good. Maybe now's a good time buy some time for Tim here is I know we're talking about trees, but what about like wildflowers or anything other than trees? Is there anything like that produced here at the?
Not here at the State Forest Nursery, but there is the DNR Prairie Resource Center, which that's another department of the DNR that produces wildflower and prairie species.
And those are for sale, right? I mean,
Yeah, you can buy seed packs through them. But yeah,
Okay. So like I said, I think I've bought probably 1,500 trees from the state nursery. My experience is you guys do bare roots, and maybe you could talk to us a little bit about bare roots versus bulbs and what pros and cons, and then also, well, let's just start there.
okay. Yeah, everything we produce here, we do distribute as bare root seedlings. Species range in age from either a 1-year-old seedling to a 3-year-old seedling, and that's just varies based on how long those trees take to get to a sellable size, where the seedling's big enough for the healthy root system, where we want to pull them out of the ground and distribute them for planting. So again, we do everything bare root, and that kind of, we're not competing so much with private business that way. We're doing something kind of unique here. I know there's other places that will sell bare root stock, but what we're doing is kind of a niche market in the sense that we're providing something nobody else is. So we're not competing with private industry, but we're providing a very affordable product that many people can utilize.
So 1 to 3 years is kind of your market to what it takes to get to a sellable size.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that kind of varies by species, but generally we're aiming to get our seedlings in the 15 to 24 inch size. So then from a production standpoint, once we get them kind of in that window, they're healthy. They're big enough. They have a big enough root system to be transplanted, and then we can easily pull them out of the ground without damaging the trees. When they get much bigger than that, it's we don't have the equipment to harvest them any larger than that and get enough of the root dug out with the tree. So that's kind of our target, is that 15 to 24 inch size, and then from a packaging standpoint, we can package those well and distribute them easily.
Yeah. So I saw what you were sharing with us is you guys pack them into a plastic bag essentially,
Mm-hmm.
and then seal that, and then it goes into a craft brown papered bag that you guys will then sew shut.
Yep.
So what tips, so as a end user, I get this bare root, what tips could you give me on planting those so that they would be successful and I'd have a better chance of them making it to maturity?
Sure. So they are bare root. They're not packed in any type of material. They're packed in sealed plastic bags, and we do add moisture. We wet down the root system really good so the plant has moisture available in there. We keep those trees at 34 degrees to keep them dormant until they get distributed. They do go out in a big brown paper sack that's sewed shut then to protect the trees for the shipping process. But on that bag, we'll have some planting instructions and some tips. But it is important when you receive your order, you want to get them in the ground. I mean, those trees need back in the ground. They need to be watered again. Some tips would be to pull your trees out of the bag when you get them, when you're ready to plant them, and soak them in water. Put them in a bucket of water for an hour or two to really hydrate those roots again before planting. But then, get them in the ground. Water them as best you can. Take care of them. Try
And
to
you
protect
wouldn't
them.
plant those in the woods. I'd want to plant them where they're going to get plenty of
They're
sun.
going to need
right?
some sunlight, but
Okay. All right.
and deer and rabbits they like seedlings. So anything you can do to protect your seedlings after planting, it gives them the best chance of survival as well. Tree tubes are good. We have a lot of customers that use tree tubes. So, I mean, anything you can do to protect them is good.
And I really haven't used tree tubes, but that's probably a good move.
Yep.
So now let's talk that real quick. Could I use like black PVC as a?
No, you don't want to. The black will just trap heat. The black
So it's got to be clear then.
Yeah, the clear white is the best stuff with that can breathe. Let some of that heat escape, because they do create a environment right around that stem too that can be harmful. So tree tubes are good, but there's drawbacks to everything.
Okay. So you talked about seed collection. So why don't you tell us about the process of where the seed comes from and how it gets to you?
Seed collection is a major component of what we do here, because we have to get enough seed to plant, to grow seedlings. So our nursery staff does a lot of seed collection through the summer months, just as different things ripen and mature. And then in the fall is our biggest push for seed collection with acorns and hickories and walnut. But we do purchase a lot of seed from private seed collectors, and anybody can be a seed collector for the nursery. We do take, starting in August is when people kind of call in and pledge what they want to collect for us. So that's how we can control how much seed we're buying and where the seed's coming from. We do ask that all the seed is collected in the state of Iowa, so we can keep those local genetics planted here. We're not bringing in seed from outside of Iowa. But when we collect acorns, if somebody's going to collect seed for us, they have to know the species they're collecting. We prefer all clean, pure seed to get the full market rate for that seed. If somebody brings in something that we have to clean, have to process, then we just factor that accordingly into what we pay for the seed. But seed ranges, it ranges wildly in value. Walnut is one of the easiest seeds for people to collect, and we got a ton of folks that pick walnut for us, and we pay $5 a bushel for walnut.
Okay.
And then something like our chinkapin oak, I showed you the chinkapin oak out there. Chinkapin's a little more rarer of an oak tree, fewer of them around. It's a harder seed to get. Wildlife love chinkapin acorns, so that's a tough one to get. But that one's worth $100 a bushel.
Oh man!
So
wow.
That's a big difference.
Yeah, it ranges wildly. But our bur oak, red oak, white oak, those are all $30, $40, $50, $60 a bushel. So it kind of varies, but if anybody's interested in collecting seed for us, just encourage them to reach out to us here at the nursery, and we can talk through some of the requirements to sign up and what we need from them. But
yeah, for sure.
I think that was the biggest eye opener in our tour. Is I guess I didn't fathom, where do these trees come from? Well, duh, they come from seeds or acorns or nuts or whatever. You have a huge cooler system, freezer and cooler system to maintain those and store those, and super impressive.
Yep. And we do have a lot of orchards. We call them our seed orchards here on site, of different shrub species, some different, we have oaks planted around the nursery too that we harvest the seed from, but a lot of our shrubs, we try to control where that's coming from and make it easy for us to get. So we have strategic plantings here at the nursery, then also at some different parks and other DNR locations. Wildlife units have some seed orchards where we collect seed from there as well. Yeah.
Yeah, might have to get the girls going, huh?
We've got some work for the girls lined up.
Yeah.
You said you're looking for hickory.
Hickory is a tough one for us to get.
Shagbark hickory.
Shagbark and shellbark hickory are two hickory species we grow.
We're in trouble.
You know what they say. Teach them to fish, right?
Yeah.
Feed them forever.
Yep.
We just gotta help them identify what a shagbark hickory nut looks like and turn it loose.
There you go.
Yeah.
I'll let you break the news. I'll let you work on that.
It's all in the spirit of learning. So, you know what, Joel, I don't have anything else here. Do you have any other questions?
No, I think we kind of touched on the process. I mean, again, in your tour, you've got it's basically a manufacturing process, right? When you're gathering the seedlings and bringing them in, you got packaging lines and bagging lines and things like that. So quite impressive.
Yeah.
And you hire a lot of students off during the season too, right?
Yeah, we employ 30 to 40 college students in the spring and fall, or in other season. Not necessarily all college students, but
another big advantage having a nursery.
Yeah, having the nursery names, it's the partnership with the university's big for us from a labor standpoint.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
Yeah, I mean, Tim, you started off the podcast with, just saying we're fortunate to be in the state of Iowa and have this resource available to us, and I think that's well stated, because it's an amazing opportunity to buy trees or shrubs or whatever at that price and plant them and be able to help your land and help
Absolutely.
the economy and support folks in the state of Iowa.
Right.
So
Yep.
impressive, Pat.
Yeah.
Well, Pat, I certainly appreciate. I mean, we've been here for a couple hours, so I appreciate all the time you've spent with us from your day.
Yeah.
And we certainly wish you the best of luck.
You bet.
You
Thank you,
bet.
guys.
Yeah, I appreciate the time.
Yep. Thanks a lot.
All right. Until next time.
Be safe, have fun, and get outdoors.
Desperado, sitting in a old Monte Carlo, a man whose heart is hollow.